Now, JoyNews, we are independent, fearless, and credible. You're watching JoyNews Prime with me, Samuel Kojo Brace. In our headlines this hour, Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah accuses ECG of fraudulent billing. He demands the company withdraws the fraudulent bills sent to his residence by ECG. Also, late government payments crippling SNIT as the International Labour Organization warns that trust fast depleting reserves could result in default in benefit payment by 2036. We have details plus analysis. And also, NDC National Chairman warns party members and supporters against sharing of positions in a future NDC government, cautioning the party has not yet won political victory.
Of people have begun taking positions and fighting over who will be what in the next government. I want to assure everybody that we are not there yet. Don't be fighting about positions.
Now, Ashanti Regional Minister hit hard at ECG over calls for an apology, explaining police invitation of ECG manager was for breach of agreement with the Kumasi Technical University. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah says he cannot heed to demands for an apology by staff of ECG for doing his job. He has justified his decision to lodge a complaint to the police against the management of ECG for breach of agreement in a payment schedule with the Kumasi Technical University. Nanaya Ajima was at a news conference earlier and has come through with this report.
The police invitation of engineer Mark Asmani Wiafe to write a statement at the police station over the disconnection has sparked agitation among staff of the company. Mr. Osei-Mensah has refused to yield to pressure to apologize.
No, I am asking, do I have to apologize for doing my security work? So we move on.
According to him, through his office, the company reached an agreement with the university to defray their debt within an agreed time frame. Though the university kept to the agreed schedule, the ECG disconnected the university, claiming the action was taken by a national task force.
So I asked him, is KST used defaulting on the payment plan? He said no. Then I said, why didn't you inform the National Task Force that you have an agreed payment plan? Upon that, he said he could not go. I asked him to go and then switch on the power while we negotiate. Then he said no, because it was undertaken by the National Task Force from Accra. Before this, in September 2023, it was also alleged that the same National Task Force disconnected the power at the Adakok Jachi campus of Kumasi Technical University, even though they are using prepaid meters there and they have credits. So I get worried and said, if that's the case, then I'll ask the police to invite you to go and write a statement which we will use in future if the need arises.
The minister also claims there were other security concerns, for which reason he lodged a complaint at the police station.
I've informed ECG that where the president and the vice president lodge anytime they are in Kumasi is declared security zone. Unfortunately, ECG has never observed this and keep on flouting this when they know very well what they are supposed to do as security zones. It means I see them more or less either intentional or failure of duty. And as representative of the president and supervising the people, good people of Ashanti region, who also chairs the Regional Security Council, I cannot sit alone. Bolts and nuts holding the metal frames of 8 pylons, holding the metal frame to the concrete pillar of 8 pylons were removed. And I can tell you, except people who have deep professional knowledge in electricity, that can do that. And all these 8 pylons fell. We were just fortunate. All the 8 did not fall on an adjoining pylon. Else, this region, about half of the region could have been in total darkness. We invited them to come to the Regional Security Council so that we can look at the adequacy or otherwise of security measures that have been put in place at the various strategic installations of the ECG, which they failed to honor the invitation.
Meanwhile, the minister also denied the ECG managers are members of the Regional Security Council.
And I want to also tell them what they stated in their publication, I think on the 18th of April 2024, that their managers are members of the Regional Security Council is palpable false. They are not members of the Regional Security Council. The Regional Security Council invited them to come and brief us on the adequacy or otherwise of security measures put in place at the various strategic installations of the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti region.
For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
Let's zoom on the story by bringing in the managing partner for the African Center for Conflict Resolution and Security, Dr. Akwantukese Bani, who joins us via Zoom now. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us. From this, is there any impending danger to the security in the Ashanti region? Doc, kindly unmute so we can hear what you're telling us. Kindly unmute so we can hear what you're telling us. So,
okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Great,
now?
I can hear you now. Yes, yeah. So I was trying to find out from you that from what's happening, is there an impending danger to the security of the Ashanti region?
Very well, thank you very much. Permit me to extend my greetings to your well-cherished listeners on this program. Indeed, what is happening is very unfortunate because I know when I can borrow experience from South Africa, the government institutions are indeed coordinated and work together in harmony. But in the case of Ghana, it's quite a different, which leads or begin to prepare the grounds for threat and security of a country or of a particular area or jurisdiction. Now, in Ashanti region, as we narrow it down there, now we have the chairman as the regional minister. He's supposed to, by constitution, the regional security chair or the RESEC, and he has the power and has been mandated to be ensuring that security of that environment is what is managed. Now, whenever we are aware, whenever there is darkness, and of course, the criminals always like to operate in the darkness. As at now, we seem not to have much of technology, but there are in the world, but not in Ghana, which we have acquired to be able to use in what? In coordinating, in surveying, and monitoring whatever happened 24/7 at any time to be able to mitigate. Most of the time, we use human security and, of course, intelligence gathering. So in this point in time, intelligence gathering, surveillance must be at work because as we're talking, as what is going on in the Ashanti region, indeed, the criminals are also monitoring and gathering their intelligence as to know how to operate. So it's a really scary, and in very important installations in the regions is where they need to be very. Other than that, when these important security installation or installation of the state is been affected or tampered with, of course, then it will put the state into a very difficult situation that affect every business in that very region, that is Ashanti region. And Ashanti region is also known for much of businesses going on. And that
but Doc, should we say that because of that, even when an institution is owing the ECG, and you know the ECG also needs liquid to operate, because of security, they should allow them to operate even though they owe, without cutting power to the place?
That is not my point. Okay. My point is that there must be a procedure that have to be channeled through, which doesn't really infringe on the mandates of various institutions. But it's like there's fusion of powers. Everybody wants to demonstrate his powers, which is not good. And institutions must be able to have harmony, coordination, understanding. You know, just like the regional minister was saying, he called them, they sat down, they developed a modality of pay. So they should go by what they have put on paper and go that, so that some of the issues at the government areas should not be even to be heard by the public. It should be done within the domain of their, and then everything will be fine. Because other than if the government institutions are fighting like this, in fact, those who are using the power, they know that they have to pay. So they should have to pass through the process of paying the money to the ECG, to also money to be able to generate the power that they need. So I am not saying that, therefore, they should not pay, but the approach must be revisited. Okay.
But so with this, sort of infighting between the regional minister, who is the head of RECSEG, and the ECG, what must be done to ensure that the impending dangers to security in the region is averted?
Well, the stakeholders must be brought to the table and sit down and jaw. Well, I could say alternative dispute. That's the dispute now. They should apply principles of alternative dispute resolution in this process, so that everything will be put to. So apart from that, whilst they are taking this process, the various government installations must still they should ensure that they are put under very strong surveillance whilst they are sitting down at the table to ensure, so that there will be peace and cordiality to ensure that this very impasse will be overcome. But eyes and then security must be placed on the very technical, very important installations in the region, so that it will not be tampered with.
Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us, Dr. Kwesi Binder. He is a security analyst. Now, there are fears of a possible grounding of the Ghana's public pension scheme, because a fresh audit report has revealed that the Social Security and the National Insurance Trust (NET) may not be able to pay full pension benefit to contributors by 2036. This is revealed in the latest International Labour Organization's actuarial evaluation report on SNIT. Labour unions in the past few weeks have taken on government for failing to remit some Tier 2 pension deductions to the fund managers. According to them, the last time government paid their Tier 2 contributions was in June 2023, owing them 9 months deductions from July 2023 to March 2024. Speaking on PMS Press last night, the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Retirement Research, Abdallah Mashoud, revealed there is more to the problem, because a latest report indicates that SNET may not be able to pay full pension benefits by 2036.
Of course, every 3 years, we have to get external actuaries to come into the country and assess the health of the scheme. In 2014, when the actual evaluation was done, we were made to understand that the SNIT scheme is unable to pay benefits fully and on time by 2042. 3 years later, in 2017, another actual evaluation done by ILO, they came into the country, did another actual evaluation, and did indicate to policymakers and government that, look, remember we warned you in 2014, the scheme would not be able to pay benefit by 2042 in 2014. Now in 2017, it came down to 2037.
2037?
2037. That is 5 years down. As we speak, another actual evaluation was put out in January this year, and the figure has come down to 2036.
So wait a minute. So this actual study says that by 2036,
yes,
SNIT will not be able to pay contributions.
It will not be able to pay benefits fully and on time. The results would have
it's not able to pay benefits fully and on time.
it is because the reserves would have depleted. That is, if nothing is done. And they have made a lot of recommendations in the actuarial valuation report. The Director General has the mandate to drive the provisions or the recommendations of the actuarial valuation report. We haven't seen anything like that. Even while, across the world, people are reforming pensions in order to, to improve the long-term sustainability of schemes, we are sleeping here in Africa and in Ghana.
Reacting to this revelation, President of the National Association of Graduate Teachers, Angel Kagbonu, and Director of Research and Policy at the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Kwabena Nyakun-Otu, said SNET must make the report public immediately.
I have the copy, and that is the point I said, that we should utilize our membership on the SNET board.
Yeah, but it's shocking, isn't it? You have members on the SNET board. An actuarial study has been done, and you don't have it. Angel Kagbonu, have you seen a copy?
Absolutely not. They did not even announce whether
they were doing it.
And this says by 2036, they will be struggling to pay full benefits.
Exactly. If nothing is done. And they have made recommendations.
Sorry, Franklin.
It's not rocket science. I mean, if clearly speaking, government is not paying already, that's half of your contributions gone anyway. And secondly, if the options to invest, the ones you are receiving are also limited, and they are not doing proper investment because the politician is also interfering. Clearly, it tells you that the funds will dwindle anyway. So even without seeing the actuarial work, it's clear that by 2030, probably even 2036, we will not be able to do proper social security networking. And I think they need to go and learn what happened was it Peru? When people, I mean, there's pension experts who have managed that country's pensions very, very, very well.
And see, I need to quickly ask the workers. Kagbonu, 30 seconds. Are you going to demand for this study? Because that tells you where your pensions are and what they are going to be, what's going to happen to them. Are you going to demand that?
We have to demand it and make it public.
Dr. Otu?
Absolutely. I mean, it says something about our representation on these institutions. You understand? So we definitely have to get hold of these actuarial studies.
JoyNews research team has been studying the report, and lead data and research analyst Isaac Kofi joins me in studio with a breakdown. Kofi, first tell us about government's, indebtedness to the SNET, and again, how that is resulting as a result of non-payments.
Well, so Kojo, this is not the first time we are having an actuarial study on our SNET, contribution. The first one was done 2017, and you saw that the year in which the reserve was going to run dry was 2046. Now, we are talking about the recent one done in 2020, published in 2024. This has been reduced to 2036. It means that if SNET doesn't have any form of investment, income, and all contributions cease, by 2036, their reserves will begin to go dry. This is because by 2029, they would have to depend on the reserve to pay end-of-year benefits or monthly benefits. And when you start depending on your reserve, it means that it's going to start depleting. And by 2036, it will be zero, and SNET will not have anything. Now, let's look at the total amount that was being owed to SNET the time that this actuarial study was done. That was close to 9.4 billion Ghana cedis. Now, out of this 9.4 billion Ghana cedis owed SNET, December 2021, just look at it. 6.9 billion, which is 73.7% of that money, was as a result of government late payment. And so they deduct the money, all right, but the rate at which they pay the money to SNET delays. So the question is, what is government doing with that? It's not your money, it's pensioners' money. You've collected that money, you are hoarding it. What are you using the money for? Is it attracting any interest that will benefit the pensioners? If not, why are you not giving it to SNET to do the necessary investment? Because we know that one reason why this is scary is that we know the pension funds has been relying on the local bonds market for investment. Now, that means of investment is gone. It's almost zero as a result of the DDEP. Now, where is it going to invest their money? Are they going to still build hotels and all of those things? hoping and praying that they will get returns? That's another question that we need to ask. Now, according to the study, per every late, payment done by government or anybody, this is what happens. SSNIT loses about 1.3% drop in terms of investment.
Each year.
And what happens is that when government is not paying at the right time, the entire burden will be shifted to the private sector. So it means that what you and I belonging to the private sector, we contribute, will be what will be used to pay, will be used as benefits or payments in terms of the benefits. So they are calling on government that, look, you need to start paying the monies, your deductions ahead of time so that, SSNIT can go ahead and do the necessary, investment. So that's what the ILO study is actually saying. It's not the first time. It was done 2017, and this is the latest one.
Very interesting study there. Let's hope that they implement all the recommendations that the ILO is telling government. Meanwhile, President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, says organized labor must sue government for mismanagement and late remittance of deductions.
In addition to the recommendations I made about asking for penalties to be paid or interest to be paid, I think the workers should also go for lawyers. And I think, yes, they should be able to sue the government to make sure that these monies are paid immediately they are received. It's very important. Because you see, if you're a private actor and you fail to pay your SSNIT contributions, the speed with which you are taken through the court, that's 30-day court, you'll be jailed right now if you don't take care, right? So why should the government be the one actually misbehaving? It's not the best.
President Angel Carbon warns they will embark on an industrial action if government doesn't pay their monies by May 2.
If they renege on their responsibility, if they fail us on the promise they made to us that they are going to pay the monies, if the 2nd of May comes and we realize that they have just given us a red herring, then they should expect us to take a very serious action on behalf of our workers and the future of our workers. We are not going to compromise on this at all. And this misbehavior should stop in our country, where statutory monies are collected and they are not remitted to the designated institutions. It's affected GET Fund, it's affected health funds, it's affected District Assembly Common Fund. I mean, every dedicated fund is affected by this behavior of the politician, and we cannot allow this to continue.
Away from that, the Electoral Commission has clarified that a party's agent refusal to sign at the polling center after vote accounted does not invalidate the result of that vote. Speaking at a May Day forum by Organized Labour, Deputy Chairman of Operations at the Electoral Commission, Samuel Tete, says whilst the signing of election results is a way of authenticating the said results, an agent's refusal to sign does not invalidate it. The following report has more.
The Electoral Commission has clarified the role of party or candidate agents in the upcoming elections. In a speech read on behalf of the EC chairperson, Jean Mensah, the Commission's Deputy Chairman of Operations, Samuel Tete, said the failure of an agent to sign an election result does not in any way make that result invalid.
It should also be noted that an agent refusing to sign does not invalidate the results. This is an open process of the Commission to ensure acceptability of election results at all levels and prevent any election-related violence.
Samuel Tete also added that the EC has set May 7th to May 27th for updating the voters' register ahead of the December general elections. This is to allow those who just turned 18 to have their names captured in the voters' register. People who are above 18 but have yet to register for a voter's ID card also have the opportunity to do so during this window.
For this year's update of the voters' register, the Commission has set from the 7th of May to 27th of May to update the voters' register to include those who have attained the age of 18 since the last registration and those who, for one or two reasons, were not able to register during the last registration exercise.
Inspector General of Police Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, who was also present at the event, assured the public of maximum security before, during and after the December polls.
It used to be the fact that we normally start thinking of election security in the election year. And we saw that that has become a handicap and creating problems that are avoidable. So we decided that going forward, election will be seen as a process, and the next one will start where the last one ended, and making sure that election security is mainstream into normal security operations. And this led us to the establishment of Police Election Security Directorate. With it in existence for the past 3 years, almost 3 years, the directorate has become like a police station, which is open 24 hours.
Secretary General of Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yao Ban, urged for peace during this election period.
We want peace in our country. Economically, we are not doing that good. We are really struggling, but at least we have peace.
The May Day Forum was under the theme, Election 2024, the role of workers and social partners in securing peaceful elections for national development.
Well, it is World Malaria Day, and as Ghana struggles to eradicate malaria from the country, many organizations are playing crucial roles to help the country achieve the target. To contribute towards this effort, Bliss GVS, a pharmaceutical company, has today donated boxes of malaria drugs to National Malaria Elimination Program to make malaria drugs free for all. There's more in this report.
According to the World Malaria Observatory, with 2.2% of global malaria cases and deaths and 2% of global malaria deaths, Ghana is among the 15 highest burden malaria countries in the world. It accounts for 4% of malaria cases in West Africa. In 2022, WHO estimated there were 5.3 million malaria cases, with 11,557 estimated deaths in Ghana. To help eliminate malaria from the country, Bliss GVS, a pharmaceutical company, has donated malaria drugs to the National Malaria Elimination Program. Head of Finance, Dr. Joel Na Balabari, who was part of the team that received a donation from Bliss GVS, expressed his gratitude to the team and announced where and how they will start sharing the drugs.
So first of all, we want to thank Bliss GVS Pharma in helping to support the World Malaria Day, which happens every year on 25th of April. And for this particular year, we are going to Krowa District, because as part of our agenda, in our elimination agenda, we targeted Krowa District with some of our new interventions. So without going full scale, we are starting with Krowa District in our elimination agenda. And I want to thank you for these drugs, and that will be one of the things we will use during the World Malaria Day in Krowa District. So that is where we'll be going in terms of trying to create awareness on our new interventions and how we can be able to help eliminate malaria in the Krowa District. And we are able to do that. We can now scale up to the various districts and see how we can be able to totally eliminate malaria from the country.
He emphatically stated that it wasn't going to take long in distributing the drugs to the health centers that need them.
It's just a process. And because we are the one spearheading the World Malaria Day, it just goes through our stores and directly it goes to the districts. Same day. It goes to the district same day.
He said there has been a decline in malaria cases and deaths caused by malaria, and hopes that with the new interventions in place, there will one day be a malaria-free Ghana.
Because we've seen prevalence and the death rate going down. But malaria is always seasonal. In the rainy seasons, the prevalence starts to go up. But of course, we have various interventions to be able to, get this prevalence going down. We have the SMC, for the seasonal malaria chemical prevention, in 7 northern regions. So as the rains come in, prevalence will go up. But with this SMC, it helps to bring these prevalences down. So yes, death rates are coming down, and we are hoping that with these new interventions in place, we'll one day get a malaria-free Ghana.
This initiative not only makes malaria drugs freely available to all, but also serves as a crucial stepping stone towards the ultimate goal of eradicating malaria from the country.
This is still the JoyNews Prime. We'll take a very quick break. When we're back, we'll bring you more stories. To stay with us. Well, welcome back from the break. Let's talk about politics now. And remember, the election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountant, and also the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness, and Beauty. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Now, the national chairman of the opposition, NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, is warning party members and supporters against sharing positions among themselves in anticipation of victory in the 2024 elections. Speaking at an event to outdoor the NDC's 2024 vice presidential nominee, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, Asiedu Nketia said such behavior shows complacency, cautioning that the party has not yet won power and that could also demoralize the base of the party.
The polls are projecting a massive victory for us, both for President Mahama and for a resounding majority in Parliament in 2025. But I like to caution that polls results alone don't constitute victory for any political party. The risk of complacency. The polls figures tend to create a picture that we have already won. I like to caution everybody that we have not won yet. We are on the way to victory. But let's guard against complacency, because we are already convinced that we are there. A lot of people have begun taking positions and fighting over who will be what in the next government. Indeed, some people are not only fighting about the positions they will occupy, they are telling all others that they will be the kingmakers and they will be making their appointment. If we are not careful, this will dampen the enthusiasm and the spirit of our followers. So I want to assure everybody that we are not there yet. Don't be fighting about positions. And don't be struggling about who will make appointments. Let us all go for the hunting first, and when we kill the game, we now argue about how to share the meat.
Now, in response to this, former President John Mahama announced to the gathering that he is not prepared or has not prepared any list for persons for appointment, urging the rank and file of the party to unite and work for victory first.
Let me say that I don't have any list. And so for those of them who were referred to by General as having chosen their positions, you may be very, very deeply disappointed.
Now, away from that, some victims of the flood disaster occasioned by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam last year say they are yet to get their lives back as they continue to reel under the harsh conditions aftermath. According to the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, 39,000 lives were affected, rendering some homeless. 6 months after the disaster, the future looks bleak as the government is yet to announce resettlement and compensation plans. In an upcoming JoyNews documentary, Life After the Floods, some of them tell JoyNews how rebuilding and survival after the floods has become extremely difficult.
This is where I used to stay with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, so for now, the status of it is not even looking nice for you, as yourself you can see.
Okay.
There's no one in because I'm the one. I'm now living with my sister.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very, very painful anytime when I get here. That's why you can even see there's no cleaning. Because when I get there, when I see things, then I don't know what to touch. I don't even know where to start from. So I feel very sad.
I alone, I'm having cassava farm about 10 acres, and the others, they are having. In Siko right now, if you go to the farm top, everything tend to firewood. All our cassava tend to firewood, and we can't afford our life together. How are we going? And up to now, the village is not telling anything about our life. How are we going to survive?
The flood scattered everything because of the spirit. The piglets are all died. It take them away, and nothing remains.
So at the time you heard about how many pigs in here?
I have about 85. I'm very much annoyed with VRE, and we are not hearing anything from them. My house collapsed, and we are all at Akwantukese camp there. We at the tent where we are not getting it easy at all.
I'm America. I'm in Yelasin. The Anuka Alafama aton the Kama. Tawam in Yamara, the Bocatarama, Aquafato Tonto, Laman Yemen.
Now, the JoyNews Hotline documentary Life After the Flood airs on Monday, April 29, 2024. Now, let's move on to other stories now. Some residents of a coastal community near Kolegono here in Accra are calling on authorities to deal with the indiscriminate dumping of filth into drainage systems in parts of the city, Accra. They say they are bearing the direct brunt of the act, which has resulted in the heavy pollution of the ocean and the beach there. Some fishermen in the community also say they now catch plastics instead of fish. Maxwell Agbaba was there and has come through with this report for our filth exhibition series.
Welcome to the Odo drainage system, which runs through the capital, Accra. Here, trash reigns supreme. This drainage system is responsible for carrying wastewater from different parts of the country directly into the ocean. But now, it has additional roles, carrying plastics and trash.
The Kwale Lagoon itself will take a longer time because that's where we have more composition of material, which needs to take a longer time, maybe about a year or two to finish. We're going to have recreational facilities. That is the sea outfall. So along we have recreational facilities. Other infrastructure we can have.
Flashback to 2019, where officials proudly showcased plans to transform the Odo Drain into a recreational paradise, complete with yachts and cruise boats gliding through its waters. Fast forward 5 years, and the only thing cruising are more plastic bags. Those who suffer the effects are residents living around the coastal areas close to the Odo Drain, where it enters the ocean. I'm in one of the communities near Jamestown, and here I've met one of the residents who is a fisherman. John Yaku no longer goes for fishing expedition but plastic expeditions, as his nets catches more plastics than fish. He may soon change his fishing rod into a plastic scoop because all the water bodies around him are also heavily polluted with plastics. He says the plastics are destroying our outboard motors. Sometimes they get entangled with it. Previously, we used to do communal labor before the onset of the rains. The drains are clean, but we don't do that again. It comes from upstream. The people up there pollute the drainage system, he said. Sabonikwe Jani believes more dustbins will prevent heavy pollution of the drainage system.
Not every community needs a dustbin. What I'm going to say that in about 90s, any community have a dustbin. But at us now, there's no community, any community have a dustbin. Everybody will make a dust rubbish. You always put in gutter near him, or maybe lagoon near him. So when the rain fall, you always pull through to the Kole Lagoon, and the Kole Lagoon to throw it into the beach. And the sea too, you don't want dirty. You always bring it out. So when you come here, you can see all the beach has made dirty, but not that.
Well, the Menchia Palace in Kumasi has hosted a special Awukudai festival to celebrate royals and ethnic groups from across Ghana and beyond as part of the Silver Jubilee of the Ashanti Regional Minister II. Royal functionaries from Nigeria, Niger and other parts of the continent graced the occasion. The event served as a platform to uphold unity and beauty in diversity.
The colorful Durbar at the Menchia Palace attracted people from diverse backgrounds to experience the beauty of culture and tradition. The Ashanti Region received traditional leaders from across Ghana and other royals in the West African sub-region at a special Ewuku Day. Also gracing the festival were royal functionaries and representatives of ethnic groups living in Asanteman, including the Mosi, Kusasi, Kasinananka, Fanti, Anglo, Frafra, Nzima, and Dagumba. The event served as a platform for the expression of gratitude to these groups for their long-standing relationship with Asanteman. Otumfose Tutu spoke about the essence of the special Ewuku Day.
Today's gathering is to showcase that the Ashantis are tolerant and love every human being. We've lived with a lot of people. Today, we are all living together here in the region. We have the Ewes, and Zemas and houses.
Some royals and representatives of Zongo communities spoke to JoyNews.
We in the Zongo communities always pay homage to the king. Today is a special day for all of us. Mosis and Asantis are like brothers. We came to support the Ashanti.
Meanwhile, Chieftaincy Minister Stephen Asamoah Boateng spoke about the need to empower traditional leaders to drive development.
As a show of support and as means of ensuring sustainable financing for our chiefs and traditional rulers, government is in the process of establishing the Chieftaincy Development Fund to enable the chiefs and our traditional rulers play their roles as leaders in our community.
The special Ewuku Day was part of activities commemorating the Ashanti Regional Silver Jubilee on the Golden Stool. Joseph Oben's report for JoyNews.